are, of course, a bike shed in Los Angeles, and this is the main guy behind it right here. He's going to take us on a little bit of a little tour of Bike Shed LA.
Cool. Well, I'm Dutch, and I am in Bike Shed LA. Some of you may know we also have a bike shed in London. We also have an annual show that we've been running now. I think this year was our 13th show, doing that a long time. Mm-hmm. And our London venue's been around since 2015. And we opened in LA in 2022. And this is our space, 30,000 square feet venue with a huge restaurant, bar, cafe, lounge, huge retail space, big parking lot, and an event space and a gallery and giant kitchens and secret speakeasy. So I guess I can show you around.
Yes, please.
I mean, this is our main bar.
Yeah.
After our London space, Vicky and I, and Vicky's my partner in business and in life, we always loved island bars for a couple of reasons. They're really difficult operationally because you have less space at the back for the poor old people working, but as a social experience, it means you can sit here on your own, make a new friend. We have a lot of people who turn up and riding and they're on their own and they just want to meet people. We also have no TV screens, so they have to talk to each other.
Yes.
So it's very much done from a social point of view, and it's the same as having high top tables. It feels a little more informal, whereas if you want to sit on a booth and have a date or have a birthday, then we've also got booths. So we tried to create a space that is good for breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, drinks, and you can come here with your buddies for a beer or a coffee, or you can come here for a date and hang out, or with 6 people, having a birthday, or we've got a private dining room over there where you could have 18 people. Actually, we have other spaces as well that you can hire out, but really every level of hospitality experience. And our goal is to make everybody feel like we gave a shit that they turned up.
Yeah.
Our mission statement is make your day. You'll see, actually, let's walk around a little bit. One of the things you'll see is on the floor to every entrance in the building, it says common ground. And I'll take you right there. This is our loading bay cafe. Somebody called it the pit the other day, which I quite like. But you'll see that when you walk in here, it's closed at the moment because it's 105 degrees outside, so we're trying to hold the AC in, but normally that shutter's open. And it says common ground on the mat when you walk in on every entrance, because what I love about motorcycles is that they unite people. It doesn't really matter about your politics, it doesn't matter what you think in terms of the world, how you identify with your gender. We don't care about any of it.
Yes.
If you ride a motorcycle, you're cool, and you can come here and talk about bikes. So you can have different politics, different religion, different everything. We celebrate that common ground. And the same with what you ride. It doesn't matter if you're like a Harley bro with cut-off sleeves and you think you're in Sons of Anarchy, or if you come here on an adventure bike or a cafe racer or a sports bike and you love MotoGP, we've got all of that covered for you here.
Yeah.
So this is just about 2 wheels. So this is our loading bay cafe, normally open, as I said. We've got our lounge area over there, one of the lounge areas. Vicky calls that dates corner. We get a lot of people here on first dates.
It's a good spot for that.
I think quite often it's booked by the girl to show she's cool.
Yeah.
Especially if they ride. Then we got more lounges over here. Oh, this is Elvis's motorcycle. Literally belongs to Elvis. And in fact, if you scoot back that way where we were, that Cott motorcycle is built by Dustin Cott. That Triumph, the Bonneville, actually belongs to Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, wow.
We got a couple of Ryan's bikes here
for
some reason.
Very nice.
More lounge space. And also we have a tattoo studio. In fact, Luke, who's just over by the entrance, is very, very well-known tattooist to the stars. Got nobody in at the moment, but we have a tattoo studio. We do walk-ins on the weekends. Weekdays is normally by appointment. And we have about 5 or 6 artists that work here, and really, really amazing artists who do incredible work. But we wanted this kind of eye candy, this artisan stuff, because obviously people associate motorcycle culture with tattoos and things. So this is a really great way to have that experience. And we have a 4-chair barbershop, because we've got to make sure everyone's smartly turned out when they come to Bike Shed. And these elements started when we first had our show. When we very first did an event, we decided that we needed pop-up barbershop, pop-up tattoo, especially with the distinguished gentleman ride culture at that time. Everyone was waxing their mustaches and getting their beards trimmed and getting their kind of barbershop haircut, and that's kind of remained. So that works really well. We love the crew here, and again, that's parts and labor. That's part of Bike Shed, and the tattoo studio is called Paint Shop.
Yeah,
and that's
nice.
part of Bike Shed.
Nice.
So this is what we call the perch. So this is where you come, where you don't really know. You've never been to Bike Shed before, and you don't really know whether you want to be at the bar or in a booth or you need a table. You haven't quite orientated yourself. This is kind of at the center of the whole of the hospitality part of our business. And a lot of people just park themselves here, and it's also a good place to just where when people meet outside, if they've got the Ducati's owners group or the Triumph group, this becomes the central point, and then quite often they'll reserve all the lounge spaces. Oh, this is Vicky's bike, my partner.
I've seen this on Instagram.
So this bike was built by Remy, who used to work at Bark, and then set up his own company, Angel Motor Works. He built this bike with Royal Enfield. We designed it together with Adrian Sellers at Royal Enfield.
Was it an Interceptor base or?
It's a 650 Interceptor with the Interceptor tank. And then this is from the first round of flat track race bikes.
Okay.
So this is carbon fiber seat, rear shock upgrade. It's got the S&S race pipes on there, which are the sort of 2-into-1 single side flat track pipes, flat track tires. It's got upgraded fork internals. It's got the Bark beach bars and obviously Moto Gadget. And we had this headlight cowl designed, 3D printed.
That's beautiful.
So this is Vicky's daily ride.
Yeah.
And the paint's really subtle. You can't quite see. Yeah,
I love the pegs.
I think that peg is like the toughest piece of metal I've seen in the universe. It'll probably survive a nuclear explosion. And the paint job
beautiful.
is Vicky's sort of sign. She's part American Indian and Crow Indian, and Raven. So we've got this Raven motif on the bike as well. But it's really subtle because she also likes black. So your camera might not even pick up the feathers through the carbon fiber and the little raven head on the back.
Oh yeah.
So you can just about see that. So more lounge space. And then we have, of course, our retail emporium. So this is a lot more than a shop. This is really where brands meet. And in the middle, we have all the bike shed stuff, the gear and apparel that we produce. And of course, we love to make gear. If we find something that isn't made, we want to make it. Including things like the Alpine Star collab that we did, which I'll show you in a minute. But effectively, this is the hub of the store where people can buy our merchandise, our gear. We do some protective stuff, some denim, and lots of bits and pieces. But also, the other brands in here are concession partners. So this area is actually Indian. So Polaris take care of this, and the local Indian dealer populates it. We have their bikes, their gear and apparel. We also have an area over there for Super 73, California Electric Bike Company, and their bikes are just awesome. Royal Enfield have their own space here. And then over on the other side, we have Livewire. They have a space here. And then we have Ducati, who have a space here as well. And we've had a few other brands in here. We've had Belstaff in here. We've had Myers Manx. We're adding another brand quite soon, and one of the brands that's already in here is going to expand. And really, this is about partnership. It's kind of like Selfridges, like store in store.
Sure.
So we didn't really want to mark the floor or create rules, but people can come here, they can check out the Livewire, they can do test rides from here. So we do test rides on the weekends, and we'll facilitate a bike being bought for somebody from Livewire.
Okay, nice.
So it works really well. And then we also have cool motorcycles. This bike over here is a garage company. This is actually Michael Schumacher's bike. The
Are you
racing
serious?
bike. Yeah. So
wow.
So we have Michael's bike here. What else have we got that's interesting? This bike was in Matrix Reloaded, I think. This is Alex Earl's, one of his first builds. I don't know if you guys know Earl Motorcycles. His stuff's amazing. He's built a lot of these kind of monocoque flat track racers with no front brakes, built out of various iterations of Ducati Monster. That bike was written by, I think, Jake Zemke, won the Mint 400. This bike belongs to Brad Pitt and is a Shinya Kimura. We have another one of these somewhere in here. This is my Thruxton. It's not really a good reason for this to be in here, and certainly I shouldn't have left the keys in the ignition. That's not a good idea. We just parked it because we've got this really big event next door with Coca-Cola, which is useful and helps pay the bills. This is another of Ryan Reynolds' bikes. This one belongs to Carey Hart. I don't know if you guys know who Carey Hart is. He was the first guy to do a backflip on a motorcycle in the X Games.
Okay.
And he's also married to Pink, which is why she signed his gas cap. So Carey's a great guy. He's one of our members of the club as well. He has a whole bunch of other businesses. I think he owns House Beer and a few other things. I think he's got a tattoo company as well. He's a fantastic guy. Nestled here temporarily are two bikes from Falcon. So Ian Berry builds incredible motorcycles, and these are two of his Triumphs. And if you guys don't know who Falcon motorcycles are, if anybody's watching this, go Google Falcon. as well as Shinya Kimura for Brad's bike. Stunning machines, stunning builder.
Yeah.
These bikes, you can't find them, you can't buy them. They go for auction at crazy prices, and he's an incredible builder with beautiful attention to detail. So that's the shop.
Yeah.
There is more to see. Now, I'm not sure what I can get us into today because we have a huge event space, which is as big as the whole of the room we're in. Oh, this is the private dining room, which people rent out, do presentations, parties, birthdays, whatever. Now, we actually have a secret speakeasy because we have a members club here.
Fantastic.
So you don't have to be a member to come to Bike Shed at all. We welcome everybody, whether you ride or not. But if you do ride a motorcycle, you can be a Bike Shed member. And in LA, the Bike Shed members get to enjoy our secret speakeasy. So this is where the members hang out on members nights. And so this is Tommy's, which is named after one of our backers and a good friend. Somebody who, if you Google it, you might find out which Tommy that is. But he's a good friend of ours, one of our backers, and part of our whole ethos and who we are. And so we wanted to create this kind of club-style lounge hidden away in this giant industrial building. Mm-hmm. And so when it's members' nights on Thursday nights or once a month on Saturday, this is where the members hang out, and this is where we do whatever we want to do.
Sure.
We are building a deck outside. There's this huge outside area. So we've just got to create some steps and a deck so we can access that better. And then we have our whiskey lockers. So members keep their lockers in here, their cigars in here, their stuff. And so that way they can drink premium bottles while they're here. Now, the one thing I can't show you,
okay,
because Coca-Cola have rented out our gallery space next door, is this is also a doorway into another room like this one with a mezzanine above it with a pool table. So you're just going to have to use your imagination. I guess if we used a little bit of AI, which we don't use here at Bike Shed, but if someone did, I could create a special image of what this room would look like with a pool table in. But yeah, so we have pool upstairs. And then next door, of course, we have this huge gallery space. So maybe we'll perch here for a minute.
Yeah.
We have this huge gallery space, which normally is full of even more motorcycles. So when people come and visit us, what they can do is they can wander around, look at maybe a dozen more motorcycles like some of the ones that we've looked at today, more bikes by people like Shinya Kimura and Dustin Cott. We've also had some of Max Hazan's bikes in here before. Some really beautiful museum quality motorcycles and art on the walls from moto artists and photographers. But that space we also rented out. So we had Alpine Star's 60th birthday here. We did the Monster Energy motocross championship after party here. What else have we done? We've done we did the shotgun launch with Royal Enfield. We've done a lot of sort of brand launches and bike launches. We also, in London as well, we did the Bonneville, the whole global launch of their new Bonnevilles in 2015. We also did the 400 last year. So we're really designed for the industry as well to sort of take part in things. And I like to think that Bike Shed is where we work with the industry to help them understand consumers. Because remember that if you're a motorcycle manufacturer, your client is the dealership. It's not you and me who buys a bike.
Yes.
So we try and create a bridge to the consumers
Yeah.
where all brands are kind of equal. You know, we don't favor anybody, but also we try and give consumers access to those brands as well. So when we do those big events here, they'll always give us extra tickets for members and customers. And then the membership is the thing that gives us our authentic core. I mean, we have about 2,500 people come through our doors every week in LA, and another 2,500 people every week in London to our London space. So it's obviously not all members. But by having a membership, it means that we're an authentic motorcycle destination. Because a lot of people can look at a place like this and go, oh, it's kind of like Hard Rock Cafe for bikes.
Sure.
But if this was Hard Rock Cafe, it would be Hard Rock Cafe owned by a band, and they're playing a gig every night.
Yeah.
And the guitars wouldn't be plastic, they'd be real.
Yeah.
It would be, you know, you're not going to see us at some weird airport concession with a plastic guitar table. It's going to be, the band is in. And so by having the real riders here, and we do track days, dirt biking days, slide schools, supermoto days, we do dinners with people like Fast Freddie Spencer or Charlie Borman.
Yeah.
We give people those kind of money can't buy experiences. And then we've created a community. So a lot of our members will meet here and they'll plan a ride. So, a couple of years ago when we first opened, a couple of the members and me, we set up our own little ride and we did 1,600 miles up into the giant redwoods north of San Francisco and did our own little journey. just through meeting within the membership. And we had a bunch of guys in the UK hire dirt bikes and ride across Cambodia, but they met through the club.
Yeah.
So there are things we do, but also we facilitate people doing their own thing.
Yeah, fantastic.
So yeah, I mean, that's all that I can show you right now. I would show you the parking lot, but it's full of vans, which is really unsexy. But the parking lot is normally full of motorcycles, and if you come here on a weekend, the place is rammed. And then the event space, of course, which again has been rented out today by Coca-Cola. But you know, it helps us pay the bills to make it cheaper for our customers if we work with brands. So it's the Robin Hood method. You rob from the rich and give to the poor.
Yeah.
So by working with these big brands, and we work with all sorts of companies from Amazon to L'Oreal to Pepsi to whoever.
Complete event space.
Yeah, it's a complete event space, and those brands want to be around cool culture. So coming to a motorcycle club to do their event is kind of cool.
Absolutely.
And we did this thing with Nelly and Mookie Betts. You know, we did an after party for them. What else have we done? We did the Nike celebration of women in sport, and we did a big event for Nike. So we try and do stuff that's kind of cool and isn't sort of too disassociated with the crowd and the people that we have here. But yeah, overall, this is our space, and I hope you like it.
I absolutely love it. I mean, you know, seeing it on Instagram for like a long time and finally being here, it's really awesome. And plus, you showing us around as well. That's great. That's fantastic. Much appreciated.
I really enjoy it. I mean, you know, Vicky and I are really proud of what we've built. We've got an amazing team and an amazing community, and I think that one of the things for me is that our staff and our ownership and our customers, our members, they're all kind of one tribe. You know, they're all people that love the same stuff and do the same things. The door's clicking because I'm standing too close to it.
It wants to open.
Yeah, the door wants to open. So, unless somebody's actually trying to get in. But yeah, so it's kind of, you know, it's a giant sort of, I like to describe it as joint enterprise. You know, when we take on new staff behind the bar, quite often they ride, and even if they're a barista making coffee, you know, we try and explain to them that this is a club experience, even for people who aren't in the club. Yeah. We want to give them that sort of cheers, everyone knows your name kind of feeling, with a kind of a little bit of Soho House, but without all the douchebags.
Yes.
For people who ride rather than people in media. And so it's that kind of thing, and that it's a joint enterprise between the customers, those of us who kind of own and run the business, and the staff. We're all one big crew, all trying to do the same thing. We're trying to enjoy motorcycle culture and motorcycle people.
Yeah, I love it.